call is now being recorded.
Good morning, all. On behalf of IOT Academy, I welcome you all for the 6th session of National Level Faculty Development Program on Basics of Research and Funding Opportunities. Let me introduce the resource person of today's session, Dr. Prem Kumar Manoharan. Dr. Prem Kumar Manoharan is currently working as an Associate Professor, Department of EEE, Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering, Karnataka. His qualifications include BE Electrical and Electronics, ME Applied Electronics, and PhD degree from Anna University, Chennai. He has over 13 years of teaching experience and he has published more than 100 technical articles in various national and international journals such as IEEE and Springer. He has been granted 4 patents by IPA India and IPA Australia. Dr. Prem Kumar is also serving as an editor and reviewer for leading journals such as IEEE, IET, and Taylor and Francis. His current researches include optimization techniques, BMS for electric vehicles, and DC converters for renewable energy systems. He is also a member of various professional bodies such as IEEE and ISTE. With this, I hand over the session to Dr. Prem Kumar. Sir, please.
Yes, so thank you so much, ma'am, for your introduction. Yeah. So let me share the screen.
Yes, sir.
I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Your slides are visible, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome, sir.
So good morning, one and all. In today's discussion, so first of all, I would like to welcome you all for national level FDP on basics of research and funding opportunities. Before proceeding my session, I would like to thank IOT Academy, Tamil Nadu, for providing this wonderful opportunity to discuss some the required topic with the researchers, to the active researchers. So in today's discussion, I would like to discuss how to publish research publications in Scopus and UGC CAS journals. So here I just want to slightly change this topic to how to publish research publications in quality journals. So instead of focusing only Scopus and UGC, I just want to give some kind of guidelines and what are the things you people have to maintain to have a quality publication. So that I'll be sharing with you people today. So I myself, Dr. Prem Kumar from Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering, Bangalore. So in today's discussion, what are the topics I'll be covering is, so first I'll be discussing about publications in indexed journals. So particularly I'll be focusing on Web of Science and Scopus journals. And some research metrics, I'll be talking about it, okay, because these are very important things because the people are publishing it, but what is the quality of the publication, what is the quality of the journal, what is the quality of the author, so that to be assessed. So to assess that, we will be having some kind of research metrics to assess the performance of the author as well as the journal as well. So that I'll be discussing in the research metrics topic. And after that, I'll be talking about the citations. Okay, so what is the citation, so why it is important, okay, how to improve the citations, so that I'll be discussing. And I'll be discussing about the research profile as a active researchers, what are the research profiles you people have to maintain, so that also I'll be discussing. And now, and one more thing, I'll be discussing about the research tools as well. So we are ready with the research results, then how to write that research, whatever you're doing, because we have to disseminate the research through the publication. So for the publications, what are the tools are required to write the paper and to draw the paper, some kind of diagrams. So that I'll be discussing in today's discussion as well. So first, let me start with what is the importance of publications. This is what the question comes in all the young researchers' mind. Why you have to publish? What is the importance? Why? What is the requirement of the publications? So these are the questions that are arising in our, most of the young researchers. So we'll be having some kind of primary objectives and we'll be having some kind of secondary objectives. And I'll be having some kind of secondary objectives as well. Okay, so here, as everyone knows that publication means only to get the degree like MTech degree or PhD degree. Only the people are thinking about the degrees. But apart from that, we'll be having a lot of objectives. So that I'll be discussing. Okay, so first thing is the importance of publication is to disseminate the research findings. Yes, I'm doing research. So whether that research is reaching to the research community or not. So for that purpose, obviously the publications are required. The publication may be a conference publication, it may be a journal publication, okay, or it may be a book publication, it may be a book chapter, it may be a newspaper article, it may be a magazines, it may be in any form, but you have to disseminate whatever the research findings you people are having it. So that's the main objective of why we need a publications. And the second one is the ethical mandate to make results available in timely manner. So it is an ethical mandate. So since you are the researcher, you are doing research at under a certain university. So it is an ethical mandate provided by the university to make the results available in the timely manner so that we cannot skip it and enhance the visibility of the research. Yes, so how the people knows that you are doing the research in that particular field. Yeah, how the people knows that you are a researcher in this particular field. So for that purpose, obviously, to enhance the visibility of your research, to enhance the visibility of the researcher, okay, the publications are much required and demonstrate the credibility of the work and the measure of success. All these things everyone knows it, right? So maintain public trust, and finally, for the teachers, for the professors in universities and affiliated colleges, obviously the publications are mandatory to have the funding and promotion opportunities. And not only that, nowadays the people are focusing on the rankings, the NIRF rankings. Obviously for NIRF rankings, this publication matters a lot. So these are the very important the factors why we need publications. Okay, so in even most of the universities, the people are making it mandate that you have to publish 2 papers, so then only you'll be getting some kind of a prize like that. Some conditions they are providing it. So to meet that conditions, to have a self-satisfaction, because you are doing a research, to have a self-satisfaction, obviously you people have to publish and you people have to disseminate your research finding to the research community. So these are all very important factors of the publications. Okay, so now I'll be talking the very important point. The thing is, I have written the paper. Okay, I have written the paper. Now I just want to publish the paper. So where I have to publish the paper, whether it is a conference or it is a journal. Okay, that is up to the researcher and it is up to the level of completion of your research project. Suppose if the research is ongoing, okay, obviously what you can do is you can focus on some kind of conference presentation. So there you can discuss your idea, because the conference presentation, it requires only the base idea, and it's a kind of only a novel idea, that's it. So even if it is not completed 100%, then you can go for conference publication. But for the journal publication, obviously obviously your research should be completed in all aspects, so then only you can go for journal publications. So once you go for journal publications, as you people knows that we'll be having thousands of lakhs of journals are available. So which journal I have to select to publish my paper? So that is the one of the biggest question arising in everyone's mind. So the first thing what you people have to do is you just check what is the journal scope. So whatever the journal you are going to select, so whether that journal is having, whether it is the aim and scope of the journal is covering your research idea or not, that you have to check it first. So if you go to the journal site, there you can see the aim and scope of the journal will be there. Just click it and just check whether this scope of the journal is matching with your research. If it is not matching 100%, I am just recommending that you please don't go with that journal. So even if you publish the paper with that journal, it is of no use, because it is completely out of scope of your research findings. So then obviously what is the use of it? And the next one is who reads the journal, because it depends upon the readers also. So we can publish the papers in any of the indexing journals, right? So the thing is, when you publish the paper, it should reach the readers. If the readers are very less for the journal, then what is the use of publishing the paper in that particular journal? So that's a very important point. So you have to check what about the reader coverage of that particular journal. That also you have to see. And after that, what you have to see is, the how prestigious is the journal in your field. Okay, so as that's what the people are talking about, the world renowned publishers like, IEEE, Elsewhere, Springer, Taylor and Francis, Wiley. Okay, so likewise we'll be having some kind of renowned publishers though, because they have established their journal and they have established their prestigious status. So we have to see that kind of prestigious journal to publish a paper, because when you publish a paper in those kind of renowned publishers, obviously your publication is having more weightage than the publication in the local journal. So this is another important fact you have to see, the prestigious of the journal when you select the proper journal for your publication. Then the third point is, this is very, very important. That's what I can say. How long does it take to publish in this journal? So, you know, the people wants the publication very quickly, rapidly. They want it. So suppose you are submitting paper to the journal. Suppose if the journal takes years of time to complete the review process, and after completion of the review, if it takes years of time to publish, so it is of no use, because by the time of publication, your research will be, it's a kind of a world research. So obviously the visibility of your paper will be very less, and you will not get any kind of citation. So when you select the journal, you have to see how long it takes for the first decision, how long the journal takes for the second decision, how long it takes for acceptance to publication, how long it takes. Okay, so you have to see all these things, then you only have to select the proper journal. So if it takes years of time, so my suggestion, please don't go to the journal. So by the time your paper published, that time, no, your paper will be, your idea will be obsolete. So that's the thing. Just see whichever the journal is giving quick review process. The next one is, how much does it cost? So this is also a very important fact. When you go with the standard publishers like IEEE, Springer, elsewhere, okay, they'll be having two options to publish your papers, like open access and the subscription based journals. So suppose if it is open access journal, so you have to see that what is the article processing charge of that particular journal. Okay, if that article processing charges can be affordable by you or can be affordable by your funder, then you can go ahead. Suppose if it is not affordable, no, it is, my suggestion is not to go with open access journal. Okay, in that case, you just go with subscription based. So for every journal, before submitting the paper, you please check what is the article processing charge. If it is affordable, you just go for it. Some journals are having the submission charges as well. Okay, so even for the submission also, the people will be asking you money. So those details you please completely check before submitting the paper. Once the paper is accepted, if you couldn't able to pay the money, then the paper will be wasted completely. It will be wasted because they'll be keeping it in their database. You cannot publish the paper anywhere, because that will be their database. Once it goes for the plagiarism check, it will show the plagiarism. Okay, so you have to check very carefully what is the article processing charge before choosing the proper journal. Okay, so these are all the four important factors you have to consider while selecting the proper journal. Okay, and another important thing is indexing. Okay, so when I submit a paper, what are the indexing services are available? Okay, so these are all the few indexing services what I have listed here, but the font which is having the red color is, it is a very important indexing databases, like the Web of Sciences, Scopus, and Google Scholar. So this three indexing databases, everyone knows it. Okay, so the Web of Science, it includes the SCIE journal, SCI journal, SSCI journal, the Science Citation Index, Expanded Science Citation Index, and Social Science Citation Index, Emerging Sources Citation Index, and Conference Proceeding Citation Index. So all together we call it as a Web of Science journals, and this indexing services are provided by the Clarivate Analytics. Okay, so these Web of Science journals are having the impact factors. Okay, so when you publish the papers, you have to check what is the impact factor of that particular journal. If it is high, then yes, we can say that once your paper is published in that the high impact factor journal, then obviously you can say that your paper is a quality paper. Okay, then it will reach the wider research community. So that's what I can say. So the top level of the indexing is the Web of Science journals. Okay, the next one is Scopus. Okay, the Scopus, as you know, that it will be, this indexing services is provided by the elsewhere. Okay, and it includes all the scientific journal, technical journals, and even the medical disciplines. Even the Web of Science is also including scientific, technical, and medical disciplines, but the quality will be the top class, and the Scopus will be in the second level. And the third level will be the Google Scholar, and this services will be provided by the Google. Okay, so this Google Scholar indexing is provided for all the journals, books, book chapters, conference papers, thesis, dissertation, preprints, abstracts, technical reports, okay, and all other scholarly literature. So, but if you look at the Scopus, it will consider only the journals, book chapters, and it will consider only the conference proceedings. Okay, it will not consider the technical reports, abstracts, all these things. But the Google Scholar will consider each and every aspect of your publication which is published in the outline. Okay, but if you see the Web of Science, they will be considering only the journals. Okay, they'll be considering only the journals, not even the book chapters. They'll be considering it. Okay, so these are all the very important indexing databases. As I said, the top level will be the Web of Science journals. Okay, even in the Web of Science journals also will be having certain level, like the top level will be SCI and SCIE, and next is SSCI, and the next one is ESCI, and next one is CPCI. Okay, so these are all the levels of the Web of Science journals. Even in SCI and SCIE, okay, and SSCI, we'll be having some kind of quartiles. Okay, so again, to differentiate the levels of the journals, they'll be having different quartiles, like Q1 SCI, Q2 SCI, Q3 SCI, Q4 SCI, like that will be having the quartiles as well. Okay, if your paper is published in Q1 SCI journal, then I can say that that paper is an outstanding paper. Okay, and you will get a lot of citations once you publish a paper in Q1 SCI journals. Okay, similarly, in Scopus also will be having a different quarters like Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Okay, and if your paper is published in Q1 Scopus indexing, and this will be the top class in the level of the Scopus. Okay, and similarly we'll be having Q2, Q3, and Q4 journals. So my suggestion is, suppose if you want to publish any papers in Q4 or Q3 Scopus indexed journal, so my suggestion is you please try to avoid it, because later stage your journal may come out of the Scopus indexing. That's what the last 3-4 years the people are facing problem, like I published paper but the people are not indexing it. Okay, so this is what the question arises in every researcher's mindset. See, when you publish a paper, you just try to focus only Q1 and Q2 Scopus journals. Okay, even Q3 sometimes okay, but Q4 please try to completely avoid publishing in Q4 Scopus indexed journals. Okay, and Google Scholar, even the low level journals also having the Google Scholar indexing. Okay, so for the starting research, the Google Scholar indexing is okay, but if you want to establish yourself in the research field, obviously you should have some quality publications in Scopus and the Web of Science indexing databases. So other than these three indexing databases, we'll be having varieties of indexing databases, like the PubMed is there, Direct Open Access Journals, DEO, AJ is there, EA Compendex is there, Engineering Index is there, then PubMed and Ibasco, Cosmos. So we'll be having so many indexing databases, but the renowned indexing databases, as I said, Web of Science, Scopus, and Google Scholars. The next one, okay, I written the paper and I chosen the journal, whatever the factors I have listed. Based on that, okay, now after that I just decided, okay, this is what the journal which is having a Q1 essay, everything is okay. The next thing is, before submitting the paper, you have to check whether the journal is a predatory journal or not. This is a very, very, very important thing. Nowadays, the people are trapped by, the researchers are trapped by the predatory journals. Okay, so what is the predatory journals? The predatory journals are, it is a fake journals. Okay, it is a fake journal, and sometimes you'll be getting some kind of emails like, you submit your manuscript and we are shortage of one paper, why can't you submit the paper to our journals, like that. You'll be getting some kind of emails daily. Okay, so those, if you are getting emails from the journals, then I can say that that journal is a predatory journal. Okay, so they'll be requesting you to send the manuscript, and they'll be having some kind of fake editorial boards, the fake peer reviewer team, and the fake locations, and they'll be even having the fake impact factors as well. Okay, so they will be publishing the papers with the same name of the well established journals. Okay, so I'll be showing one simple example. What is that predatory journal? Okay, and what these people will do is, if you submit the paper, so what you people will do, you're getting an email, so you'll be responding to that email, so you'll be sending your paper. So what they will do is they'll be asking you to pay some lumps of money like $500, $1,000 you pay. Even 1 or 2 days you'll be getting the review comments. Okay, and within 1 or 2 days you'll be getting acceptance. And what we people are thinking like, okay, so we got acceptance, so whatever the money they're asking, we'll be paying it, right? So once you pay, and they'll be publishing your paper in online. But once it is published, no, it is of completely no use. Okay, the thing is your paper will be wasted, as well as your money is also wasted. Okay, so you have to be very careful towards this predatory channels. Okay, one of the simple example I just want to show you. Okay, so one predatory journal I have. Okay, what is that? The predatory journal is Inter-CNCR journal. It is one of the SCA journal. Okay, mostly these people are publishing science papers, science related papers. They'll be publishing it. Okay, so I just typed in Google Inter-CNCR journal. It is a SCA indexed journal. Okay, but it is a Q for SCI. So if I type in the Google, you can see that there are two websites, intercncrjournal.com and intercncr.net. So there are two different websites with the same journal name. Okay, I just opened both the websites. You can see that I just opened both the website, and I just opened the homepage of both the websites. Okay, so you just look at the font style, everything. Just look at the font style, everything. It looks same. It looks same. Okay, and you can see that they have mentioned the impact factor. Even these people also mentioned that impact factor. You can see it in the indexing services, and you can see that they are publishing the paper, and they'll be having archive. And before that, you can see that they have provided the ISSN number also. Okay, they'll be providing the ISSN number of that particular journal as well. Okay, so now here you can see that 03781844, and here also you can see that this is also your site. Okay, and here also you can see that they have provided the ISSN number, the same ISSN number 03781844. So the ISSN numbers are same. The journal name is same. The editorial boards will be totally different. Okay, and the contact details, they'll not provide any kind of contact details, and even the papers are published. You can see they'll be providing it in the archive. And if I click any archive, inside you can see the papers are published, but those papers cannot be downloaded. You can see that once you click this, it will be asking you to provide some user ID and password. So without that, you cannot download the paper. But if you look at this journal, this site, okay, you can see that I'll be just going to the current issue. Okay, and I can see that if I click any one of the paper, you see that the paper is opening. So it means actually this Inter-CNCR journal is an open access journal. It is a science related journal. Okay, and it is having the authenticated website of intercncr.net. This is the authenticated journal. But you see that the people are opening this site in the same journal name. Okay, and they are requesting paper. You see that till today the people are submitting the paper to that particular journal. They are asking about $750 to publish the papers. So just by seeing this fake impact factor, just by seeing the fake names and all, the people are paying money. And once the paper comes in online, you cannot access the paper. There won't be any DYA for the paper. Nothing is there. So total paper will be completely wasted. Okay, so that's what you people have to be very careful when you select the journal. So whether it is a predatory journal or it is a fair journal, so that you have to check before submitting the paper. So I have given the quick demonstration, okay, how the predatory journals will be. So similarly, you'll be having thousands and thousands of predatory journals are there. So you have to be very careful while selecting the proper journal. Okay. Now, so even suppose if we ask the people to withdraw the paper, so you see that you have sent the paper and you have paid the money also, okay, and you come to know that the paper is, the journal is a fake journal. Suppose if you ask the people to withdraw the manuscript, what they will do, they'll be asking money for withdrawal also. So such the worst people are there around the world. Okay, they'll be starting the fake journals in the name of well-established journal, and they are cheating the young researchers. So you please be careful while selecting the journals. Okay, so now how to write the paper, what should be the structure of the paper. So what most scientific manuscripts is having some defined structure. So what should be the structure of the scientific manuscripts? Okay, so before going to the structure of the manuscript, here what I would like to discuss is cover letter. So this is where the people are not providing much importance. Okay, so if you submit the papers to some standard journals like IEEE, elsewhere, Springer, they'll be asking you a cover letter. So what the people are thinking is like it's a kind of formality, and they'll be writing something and they'll be submitting the paper. If you submit the paper, you know what will happen? Within 1 or 2 days itself, you'll be getting a rejection notification that the paper will be rejected and the paper is out of scope. Like that, you'll be getting some kind of, the decision from the editor-in-chief. So that is because of the cover letter problem. Okay, so the most of the editor-in-chief, what they will do, they will not read the complete paper. They will check the cover letter and they will check whether any novelty is there in the paper or not. So because as the editor-in-chief, those people have to handle thousands of papers in a year, so they don't have any time to read the complete paper. Okay, first thing, they'll be checking the cover letter. So what I'm suggesting you people is, you please try to have a better cover letter. In the cover letter itself, you have to say that this is what the paper title, and you have to give any conflict of interest is there, or any data availability statement is there or not. Okay, and you have to acknowledge that the paper is not submitted anywhere else, and you have to give the brief summary of your paper by indicating the novelty of the paper. And also you have to mention that we just refer some of the papers from your journal. So likewise, this kind of statement should be there in the cover letter. Okay, so once you omit this cover letter, obviously the rejection rate will be much more. Okay, so please try to focus on the cover letter. Prepare some good cover letter while submitting the paper. After preparing the cover letter, in this paper, what should be the structure? Okay, so the first one, as you know, that you should have a proper title. Okay, so some of the researchers, what the mistake the people are doing is they are giving some big title. Okay, some 3 to 4 sentence, that kind of big titles the people are providing, but it should be avoided. Okay, so what I'm recommending is your title should have maximum of 10 words. Okay, it should not cross 10 words. That's what every reviewer or every editor is saying, that the better title will be having only maximum of 10 words. Okay, I'm also telling you the same. Okay, don't go with the bigger title. Just restrict your title within 10 words. Okay, this is the first thing you have to follow. Okay, and the second thing is abstract. Okay, so abstract, when you write the abstract, the abstract, as it is nothing but it is a brief summary of your complete research, right? So when you write the abstract, it should not cross 200 words. Okay, and it should not be less than 150 words as well. Okay, so it should be within the range of 150 to 200 words. Okay, in that abstract itself, there'll be there'll be a structure in the abstract itself. So first 2-3 lines, you have to discuss about the small introduction about a particular topic, and you have to discuss about the novelty, and you have to discuss about the comparison, performance comparison. Then from the performance comparison, and you have to see that you have to include the what is the research findings. Okay, so these are the things should be included in the abstract, but it should not cross 200 words. So after this abstract, what you people have to do is you have to go for the introduction section. Okay, in the introduction section, what you people have to do is, some people, what the people are doing is they'll be providing one introduction section and they'll be providing another section for the literature survey. But what I'm suggesting you is, in the introduction section itself, you try to discuss about the literature review part as well. Okay, so in the introduction section, what you people have to do is, first 1 or 2 paragraph, you have to discuss about the introduction about your particular research. Okay, then next thing is the next subdivision in the introduction part is a literature review. You have to do a thorough literature by reading the recent and relevant papers, and you have to say that from this paper, and this is what the people have done, and this methodology they have used it, and they face these kind of challenges. So like that, you people have to do the thorough literature from each and every paper. At least you people have to read 30 to 40 papers, and you have to do the complete literature study. So once the literature study is over, then what you people have to do is you have to do the gap analysis. Okay, so you have to do the gap analysis, and gap analysis also you have to mention. Then after the gap analysis, what you're going to do, that you have to mention, that we can say main contributions of the paper. So that should be there in the introduction part itself. Then after completing all these aspects, final the paragraph will be the organization of the paper. Okay, the section 2 indicates the methodology, section 3 indicates the algorithmic part, section 4 indicates the results and discussion. So likewise, you need to have the organization of the paper. So that should be included at the end of the introduction part. Okay, once the introduction part is over, then you go for the methods or the methodology. Okay, in the methodology, you have to be specific. Okay, don't discuss any known stories. Whatever the known stories are there, you just completely remove the known stories, only the real facts and what is your contribution, what is your work is going to do, that should be discussed in the method section. Okay, once the method section is over, and you have to go for the result section. Okay, so this is where the people are making a mistake. For the result section, the people are taking only one page or 1.5 page, and just they are keeping some kind of pictures, and they are writing only 2 through 3 lines about that results. So that should be avoided. Okay, the results and discussion section will be having, it's a if suppose if you are writing the paper for 15 to 20 pages, minimum 5 to 10 pages you have to discuss only about the results. Okay, that much importance you have to give it for the results and discussion section. Okay, so in the results section, what people have to do is you provide the results and do the comprehensive analysis. Okay, in-depth findings, you have to find it, and you have to discuss complete in-depth finding. Okay, don't say that this figure says this figure says this figure says that. If you write like this, then definitely you'll be getting the critical comment that completely you restructure the result section. Okay, the next thing is you people have to go with the discussion section. In the discussion sections, what you people have to discuss is you have to discuss about the findings, you have to discuss about the limitations of the particular research, your own research, and what are the challenges you people are faced when you do the researches. Okay, these are the things need to be covered in the discussion section. Okay, once the discussion section is over, you go to the acknowledgement section. Okay, in the acknowledgement section, what you people have to do is you have to mention all your funding agencies. Okay, and you can acknowledge your own researchers, those who helped you doing research. Okay, even you can acknowledge your own institutions because they are providing some kind of research facility to conduct the research. So you can acknowledge whoever you want to acknowledge. You can acknowledge each and every person in the acknowledgement section. Once it is done, then you go for the reference section. Okay, in the reference section, here the people are doing very, very big mistakes. They are going with some 5 to 10 papers. Okay, don't go with some limited number of references. Okay, so if it is a research based papers, minimum reference papers should be 25. Okay, 25 to 30 is the minimum one, so that you keep it in your mind. Okay, 25 to 30 relevant and recent papers. Don't take any old paper. Suppose if you're writing paper in 2022, at least you have to refer the papers from 2018. Okay, don't go before 2018. So that's what the people are giving comments, because every day a lot of research developments are going on. If you refer the paper published in 2010, it is of no use. So this 25 to 30 papers that should be published in last 2 to 3 years. Like that, you have to select the recent and relevant papers for the research paper publication. If it is a review paper publication, minimum you have to select 100 papers. 100 relevant papers you have to take it to do a better review papers. Don't think that writing review paper is very simple. So writing review paper is much complex than writing research paper. Okay, because you have to do thorough analysis from each and every paper, and you have to write all the findings, whatever the individual researchers have done it, all the findings you have to represent in the paper. So that's what the review paper should minimum have, the 100 reference papers. Okay, then after that, the tables and figures. Okay, so wherever the tables are required, okay, there only you have to keep the tables and figures. Okay, don't keep unnecessary tables and unnecessary figures. If you keep any table or figure, you should cite, or you should properly explain what's the purpose of the tables and figures and what you're trying to say from the tables and figures. Don't say that table 1 shows this, then after that you keep the table, then you go for the next discussion. Don't do like that. Once you keep some kind of tables, you have to explain what you're trying to convey from the table. If you're keeping some figures, you have to explain what you're trying to convey to the people from the figure, that figure. Okay, so these are the things that people have to focus. If you follow the structure, obviously you can easily crack the top quality journals. Okay, and now I'll be focusing on the writing tools. Okay, so as I told, we are doing research. Okay, we want to go for the publications. When we go for the publications, what are the writing tools are available? Okay, so here the tools I'll be splitting into writing tools and drawing tools. Okay, so first I'll be listing the writing tools, then after that I'll be discussing about the drawing tools. So first I'll go to the writing tools. As you all know that most of the people will be using a Microsoft Office for writing your paper. Okay, yes, this is one of the preferred one, but the thing is, it is the commercialized version. If we have the licensed version, yes, you can go for the Microsoft Office or the latex. Yes, in most of the universities, the people are recommending you to go with the latex. Okay, the latex is the open source. You can use it at any time without any cost. Okay, and the formatting, everything will be proper. Even especially for the mathematical related papers, obviously the latex are preferred one. Okay, the next one is open office and LibreOffice. Okay, so these are the two open source office tools. Okay, you can use any of these tools for writing the papers as well. Okay, so my suggestion is better to go with a latex. Okay, or else you go with Microsoft Office if you have the licensed version. Okay, these are the some of the writing tools available. Okay, and what are the drawing tools? Because this plays a vital role, because this drawing plays a vital role in your paper. Okay, so to attract the reviewer, to attract the editor, obviously you should have the attractive figures in your paper. Though you do good research, if you couldn't able to illustrate properly, then obviously that research will failure. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to go with better illustration. So for the better illustration, we'll be having a lot of drawing tools even at free of cost. Okay, so what are the drawing tools that are available to do this? Okay, these are the several drawing tools I listed. Okay, what I know that I listed here. Okay, the Microsoft Visio is there. The Microsoft Visio is the commercial version. So commercial version. Okay, so that you have to pay the fee. Okay, you have to have a license. Without license, you people cannot use the Microsoft Visio. Okay, like Microsoft Office, the same Microsoft have introduced the Visio. Okay, the next you can go with the Draw.io. Okay, so Draw.io is an online tool, and even it is offline tool is also available. You can install the software and you can draw and you can convert the figure to the different formats like a JPEG, a PNG, TIFF format, whatever the format you wanted, you can convert it. Okay, so then Adobe eDraw Soft and Inkscape, Jib, Tix, Smart Draw, Cliffy, Kaku. So all are different drawing tools. Okay, from the eDrawSoft to Kaku.com, all are the online tools. Okay, all are online softwares to do this to plot drawings. Okay, but you can see the Draw.io and Microsoft Visio is even the offline the software is also available. You can take offline softwares, you can install it, and you can plot whatever the drawings you wanted. Okay, since it is this Microsoft Visio is the licensed version, what I am suggesting is you can use Draw.io. So it's a very good tool for plotting all the electrical waveforms, CAD waveforms, floor planning. Okay, and whatever the flow charts. Okay, the network diagrams, whatever the diagrams you wanted, you can draw with the Draw.io. Okay, it is one of the best tool. Even today, I'm using only these two tools for my publications. Okay, now coming to the reference managing softwares. Okay, we'll be having a lot of reference managing softwares like Zotero, Mendeley, EndNote, RefWorks, Citavi, Paperpile, and Dossier. Okay, so these are the different reference management softwares, for having a proper citations in your paper and to list all your references. Okay, so out of this, we'll be having some kind of commercial versions like EndNote, RefWorks, Citavi, and Paperpile. All are the commercial versions. If we have a license, you can use it, but we'll be having very good free reference management software is also available. Okay, so the first free software is Zotero, and the another tool is Mendeley, and another tool is Dossier. Okay, out of these three, the user friendly tool is Mendeley. Okay, this Mendeley is released by Elsewhere, and the EndNote is released by Clarivate Analytics. Okay, the Mendeley is a free tool. It is very useful to organize your paper, to cite your paper. Even you can share the paper with other researchers. Okay, that much of importance is there. But a very big thing is it is free. Okay, so I'm suggesting you people please try to use Mendeley for referencing and citations. Okay, and in Mendeley also we'll be having a different versions like Mendeley Desktop, Mendeley Reference Manager, Mendeley Site, Mendeley Web Importer, Mendeley Premium. Because see here, the first four are there. The first four are the free versions. But in this free versions, what is the drawback is they'll be providing only 2 GB cloud space. Okay, if you store more than 2 GB, yes, it is not possible with these four. Okay, in that case, what you have to do is you have to go with Mendeley Premium. So they'll be asking you to pay the money of $165 for unlimited space. Okay, but as a researcher, okay, for that, because we people are, will not add more than thousands of papers in the databases. So obviously what you can do is you can go with the free services. You can use the desktop, a reference manager site, a web importer. But one thing is this Mendeley desktop is obsolete. Maybe in 2 to 3 months they'll be removing this Mendeley desktop. It only the Mendeley reference manager, Mendeley site, and Mendeley web importer will be there. Okay, so it is very easy tool. Okay, the reference manager, it is a separate software you have to download and you have to keep it in the desktop. And Mendeley site, it is a kind of add-on for the Microsoft Office. Okay, and this Mendeley web importer for it is a kind of add-on for the Chrome or your Internet Explorer. Okay, so to cover this, the time is not sufficient. Okay, how to use the Mendeley, how to do the referencing and that. Okay, if time permits, maybe in the next session I'll be talking about the research tools, how to use it. But as of now, I'll be just showing you what are the tools that are available to do the referencing. Okay, so now everything is ready. My papers are ready. The structure, as I said, the structure, based on the structure, the paper, I made it ready. Okay, now what you have to do is the statement of work and the conflict of interest. This you have to disclose when you submit the paper. Okay, when you submit the paper, the very first thing is the credit author statement is very important, because in your paper maybe two or more, or one author means there is no problem. Okay, if two or more authors are there. Okay, so what is the credit of each author? It means what are the contributions of each author? So that need to be disclosed when you submit the paper itself. So that's what we call it as a credit author statement. Okay, so for example, X author has contributed towards analyzing the data and he has written the original draft. Like that, you have to give the each and every contributions for each and every authors in the paper. Okay, so the credit author statement. And the next one is the conflict of interest and funding sources. Okay, if you have any conflict with any of the people, so that you have to disclose when you submit the paper itself. Okay, so if you don't have any conflict, you can say that there is no conflict of interest. If you have any conflict, you mention the paper so that the paper will not go to that particular person. Okay, so this point you have to keep it in your mind. And also when you submit the paper, you have to disclose if you are receiving any funding, or if your paper is related to any of your funded projects, you have to disclose the funding sources as well. Okay, these are all the mandatory statement. And even nowadays the people are asking the data availability statements as well. Okay, if we have any data availability, for example, if you have a source code, if you used any data sets, that also you can provide in the paper. Okay, so that you can mention the data availability statement. Okay, these are all the important things you people have to follow before submitting the papers, because now this is mandatory when you submit the papers in the quality journals. Okay, so now, as I said, first, when you submit the paper, you have to see the instructions for authors. Then after that, you make it ready, the cover letter. Then as per the journal guideline, whether I have formatted the template or not. Okay, all the formats, everything is correct or not. The resolution of figures are correct or not. Everything you check it. After that, you make sure that the paper is not submitted any other places. Okay, that is also very important. And some of the journals will be asking you to provide the potential reviewers. Okay, my suggestion is you provide the reviewers who are the authors of your reference papers. Okay, so that is always very important. Okay, so for example, if you have listed 25 reference papers, you just include any of the authors of those papers as a potential reviewers, so that you'll be getting a quality reviewer comments, or else you'll not get the quality reviewer comments, and also you'll get some kind of rubbish comments. Then you people, sometimes we may get some kind of rejections as well. Suppose if the paper goes to some other researchers, you may get some kind of rejections as well later stage. Okay, my suggestion is try to provide the potential reviewers from the reference papers. Okay, and you should avoid the multiple submissions. Okay, so it means that my paper is ready now. What people will be doing, I will be submitting the paper to two different journals, or three different journals, or five different journals simultaneously. So this need to be avoided. Nowadays a lot of tools are available with all the quality publishers. Even during the submission itself, they'll be identifying that you are doing duplicate submissions. If you do duplicate submissions, and you are banned to publish the paper in that particular publisher. Okay, so make sure that the paper is not submitted elsewhere. Okay, so it should be submitted in only one place. Okay, so you try to avoid the multiple submissions. The next one is, yes, everything is ready, I made the paper ready, and before submitting the paper, what you have to do is plagiarism. Okay, you have to check the plagiarism with some authenticated plagiarism tools like Authenticate and Tornado. Okay, use some kind of authenticated plagiarism tools, and you just check the plagiarism, that is similarity index. You check it. If your similarity is less than 20%, yes, you can go for submission. If it is greater than 20%, yes, you people have to again modify the paper, and again you recheck the plagiarism, and you go for submission. Suppose the plagiarism is found during the initial check of the journal, yes, you will be banned to submit the paper to the particular journal. Okay, so be careful before submitting the paper. Check the plagiarism level. Okay, if it is less than 20%, yes, you can go for the submission. Okay, this 20%, most of all the repeated journals are asking only 20%. So you don't need to worry. If it is less than 20, you don't need to worry. You can go for the submissions. Okay. And one more thing is here, what you have to follow is, suppose if the plagiarism is more than 3% in a single paper, that should be avoided. Okay, it should not be more than 3% from the single paper. Okay, for the safer side, 2%. Okay, if the similarity is matching with one paper, about 2% means it's okay. If it is more than 2%, you please try to change it, even if it is less than 20%. Okay, you have to focus so many things before submitting the paper. Okay, now it's ready to submit the paper. Okay, where to submit the paper? Okay, as I said, we'll be having thousands of journals. Okay, where to submit the paper? So for that purpose only, all the publishers are made some kind of tool, some kind of artificial intelligence based tools to find the relevant paper for your publications. Okay, just to have a quick demonstration, what I'll do now, I'll say here you can see that these are all the different links available to find the proper journal for the submission of your paper. Okay, so I'll just give some kind of quick demonstrations for to how to find the suitable journal in the elsewhere. Okay, for that I'll just click the link. Okay, so what I'll do, okay, its link is not opening. Let me go to the site. Let me go to the site. So elsewhere journal finding, I'll just go with. Okay, and just see that click this, the first one, and here inside you can check. They'll be asking the title and the abstract of the paper. Okay, for example, I'll just open one paper. Okay, I'll just open one paper. Okay, yes, so I'll just copy this. I'll just copy this title. Okay, I'll just copy this title, and I'll just copy the abstract of the paper. Okay, what is the abstract? Whatever you have written, okay, that written abstract, you just copy and paste it in the abstract section. Okay, so what I did, I just provided the title, paper title, and I just provided the paper abstract. Okay, now what I'll be doing now, here you can select the particular field also, or if you want to provide some kind of keywords, you can provide. But what I'm suggesting now, you just go with the paper title, paper abstract alone, and just click find journals. Okay, so it will be checking the relevant journal for this particular paper. Okay, and it will be listing all the journals, whatever the relevant journal for your paper, it will be listing all the journals. So from here, as I said initially, by seeing the different factors, you have to select the paper. For example, what you have to do is first you have to check the site score impact factor. Okay, my impact factor is 7.862. It is a very good impact factor. Yes, site score is 10.1. It is also very good. But you just look at this, the acceptance rate. The acceptance rate is 15% only. Okay, and one more thing is, as I told you, you have to check the time duration. You just see here, time to first decision is 4 weeks and time to publication is 3 weeks. Okay, so this is what very important thing. So suppose if you take the second paper, you just see here the site score is okay, somewhat okay, and impact factor is also fine, it's also good. But if you look at this, the acceptance rate is only 3%. It means the rejection percentage is very much more, 97% is rejection rate. Okay, so if you have written some extraordinary paper, then you can go for this journal, or else it is better to avoid this kind of journals. Okay, and also you just look at this, time to first decision is only 3 weeks. But if you look at this, time to publication means, suppose if your paper accepted today, okay, after 6 months only your paper will be published. Okay, again it is also a very worst condition, right? So similarly, you have to check all the conditions. Okay, if any of the conditions okay, for example, I felt this journal is okay for me, so what I'll do, I just click this. You can see that I can go for submit paper. Okay, once you go for submit paper, no, it will open the submission portal, and there you have to do some kind of initial registration. Then after that you can upload the paper, so that will go for the review. Okay, it is a quick demonstration with Elsewhere Journal Finder. So in similar way, we'll be having a Springer Journal Suggester, IEEE Publication Recommender, and for Taylor and Francis also we'll be having Journal Suggester, and for Wiley we'll be having Journal Finder. And these are the simple third-party tools, okay, to find the better journals or to find the relevant journal for your publications. Okay, but my suggestion is try to focus on this recommender, so that this authenticator recommenders to find the proper journal. Okay, so find the proper journal and you submit the paper as I have shown. Okay, once you submit the paper, what will happen at the back end? Okay, once you submit the paper, what it will be doing? No, it will be go to the editor first. Actually, before editor, it will go to the editorial assistant. They'll be checking the formatting issues, they'll be checking about the plagiarism, everything. They'll be checking it, and they'll be giving it to the editor. Okay, so what editor will do, what editor will do is they'll be assessing the initial quality of the paper. If the initial quality is very poor, they'll be immediately rejecting the paper. If it is okay, somewhat okay, then they'll be selecting the potential reviewer, and they'll be sending the paper to the reviewers for reviewing it. Okay, then once the reviewers are ready with the decision, okay, once they are ready with the decision, okay, the decision may be in different ways, like accept with minor revision, accept with major revision, reject and resubmit, or reject and do not encourage to resubmit, okay, or accept without any changes. Like there's so many options. Because it differs from each and every journal. This decision will be differs from each and every journal. Suppose if you get accepted minor revision or major revision, what you do now, you'll be getting the notification, and you have to improve the paper by including all the reviewer suggestion. Then after that, again you have to submit the paper, again will go to the reviewer, again the reviewer will be assessing the paper, then finally they'll be saying that paper is accepted or the paper is rejected. Suppose if your paper is rejected, yes, what you do is take the comment and work on it, again submit to the other journal. Okay, definitely if you submit the paper to the same journal, they will not accept it. Okay, so you try to find other journal and submit the paper in the other journal if it is rejected. Okay, if it is accepted, what will happen? It will go to the protection department, and from the protection department you'll be getting some kind of the license agreement, everything. So once the agreement is done, they'll be sending you the proofread copy to you, and once the proofread copy is done, then finally it will be published in online. Okay, this is what the process will be happening at the back end. Okay, so because these process should happen within 2-3 months. Okay, if it takes years of time, as I said, the publication is it is of no use. That's what I can say. Okay, then accept or reject, it depends on the quality of your paper and depends upon the reviewer suggestion. If it is accept, it is good. If it is reject, what you have to do is you take the comments, work on it again, submit to other journal. That's it. No other. So you don't need to worry about it. If suppose if your paper is rejected, don't worry. Take the comments in the positive way. Just address the comment and just go for the submission again. Okay. The next one is the research metrics. Okay. As I told, there are different research metrics are available. Okay, to assess the journal. Okay, to assess the author, to assess the article, and to assess will be having some metrics, everything. Okay, so these are the different metrics are available to assess the complete package. Okay, so what are the different matrices are available? For example, if I take a journal metrics, okay, if I take a journal metrics, so this journal metrics are very useful to assess the journal quality. Okay, so for example, we'll be having an impact factor. Okay, we'll be having site score, we'll be having H index, we'll be having item index. Okay, and we'll be having eigen factor. Okay, so these are the metrics are very useful to assess the journal. Okay, then author metrics. What is author metric? Author metrics again will be having a citations and will be having H index. Okay, so these are the author metrics. And the article metrics. Article metrics again, it is based on your impact factor, it is based on your eigen factor, it is based on your SNIP, it is based on your SJR. Okay, so all are indicates the article metrics. Okay, we'll be having different metrics, but you should know all these metrics and you should know what is the purpose of all these metrics. Okay, very important and high quality metric is the impact factor. Okay, as I said, the impact factor will be provided only by the Clarivate Analytics. Okay, they'll be releasing like journal citation reports. Okay, so that will be released only by Clarivate Analytics. In some of the local journals, they are mentioning about the impact factor, and those impact factors are fake impact factors. Don't believe it. Okay, impact factor means it should be provided by the Clarivate Analytics. Okay, what is it? So in impact factor also will be having a 2-year impact factor and 5-year impact factor. Okay, so each one is having a different weightages. Okay, the 2-year impact factor is nothing but what it will do is it will try to find the citations of for example, if I want to find impact factor of 2021 here, what I'll be doing now in the 2021 year, I'll be finding how many citations that happened for last 2 years published papers divided by total number of papers published. Okay, with that formula they'll be calculating it. Okay, again I'll be repeating it. Number of citations received in 1 year to content published during 2 previous years divided by total number of articles and reviews published in that journal within that 2 years. Okay, so based on this formula, they'll be calculating it and they'll be providing the impact factor. Okay, this impact factor will be updated every year. Okay, every year 29th or 30th of June, the impact factor will be released by Clarivate Analytics. Okay, that is the authenticated one. Okay, and the next one here you can see some kind of examples I provided. Here you can see that the impact factor is given. You see 508 is the impact factor of this cancer journal, and you can see the quartile also. As I told you already, for SCA also will be having a quartile. You can see that it is a Q1. It is a Q1 SCA journal with impact factor of 508. Okay, apart from the impact factor, we'll be having some other metrics also. Some other metrics are nothing but eigen factors are there. Okay, then article influence score is there. So many metrics are available, but the known metric is the impact factor. That's what I just listed here. Okay, for your journal you can check what is the impact factor. Okay, so that will be available in online of the publisher site, or else if you have the institution login, you can go to the Clarivate Analytics site. There you can give your login credentials and you can download the JCR 2021 list. Okay, so here what I listed is JCR 2020. So even this last June, it was JCR 2021 is released. All the impact factors are updated now. Okay, and what are the disadvantages of the impact factor is it is a kind of arithmetic mean. Okay, the impact factor, it calculates the citations of the complete citations of the journal. Okay, you see that if one author is providing more citation, means it couldn't be able to distinguish the citations and the articles and the reviewers. Sorry, the authors. Okay, that's a very big problem with the impact factor. Okay, so here what I told you, it is a 2-year impact factor. Okay, and we'll be having the 5-year impact factor also. Okay, this 5-year impact factor will be available only after 5 years of establishment after having the SCI indexing databases. Okay, so how this will be calculated is number of citation in 1 year published during the last 5 years divided by total number of articles published in last 5 years. So it is 5-year scale. Okay, and if you have good 5-year impact factor means the quality and the prestigious of the journal is very good. Okay, that's what I just want to convey from these slides. Okay, then apart from that, as I told, the eigenfactors are there, so this I don't want to discuss because of time shortage. Okay, then we'll be having article influence score is also available. Okay, and this is also another factor impact factor, but this will discuss about the quality of the article. Okay, this eigenfactor and the article influence score is depends upon the article quality. Okay, but the impact factors completely depends upon the journal quality. Okay, that you have to understand the difference between all these factors in the metrics. Okay, then another important metrics is journal citation indicator. Okay, so this journal citation indicators are provided for ESCA journals. Okay, until 2020 there is no indicator, there is no metrics for ESCA journal, but from 2021 what the Clarivate Analytics is given is they have provided JCI for ESCA journals. Okay, it is also an indicator. Okay, to differentiate the level of ESCA journals. Okay, so here this is what one of the simple example for JCI 2020 for few journals. All these journals listed here are ESCA journals, and you can check the journal citation indicators as well. Okay, this is started from 2021 year. Okay. And what is site score? So similar to the impact factor, the site scores are available for Scopus indexed journal. So this site score will be evaluated by elsewhere databases. Okay, and this will be calculated for 4-year scale. Okay, so what is the meaning of this is, number of citations in a year. Okay, number of citations recorded in Scopus in 1 year to the content published in last 4 years divided by total number of papers published in last 4 years. Okay, so their impact factor will be 2-year scale and 5-year scale, but site score will be in 4-year scale. Okay, but impact factor will consider only SC indexed citations, but site score will cover even if paper is cited in any of the Scopus indexed journal, that also it will calculate for site score calculation. But suppose if any of the paper is cited in Scopus indexed journal, that will not be considered for impact factor calculation. That's why the impact factor is high level of metric compared to the site score. Okay, so site score, even I have shown one simple example also what is the site score of few journals also. Okay, and the differences between all these things I told you. So apart from the site score, we'll be having SNIP and SJ are also available. Okay, and another one of the social media metric is Almetric. Okay, altmetric. So altmetric is a kind of a donut. Okay, even if your paper is posted in any of the newspaper or any of the blogs or any of the social sites like Twitter or Facebook. Okay, so wherever your papers are mentioned, that will be counted for the altmetric score. Okay, it is a kind of donut kind of shape. Okay, so if this donut is having multiple colors, it means that your paper has reached multiple people. Okay, that's the meaning of these colors. Okay, you can see that each color indicates, you see that red color indicates news, yellow is blogs, and the light blue is Twitter. So likewise, each color indicates each posting. Okay, or the visibility of your journal in different platforms. Okay, if you have multiple colors with large number at the center, you can see the large number at the center, then I can say that your journal is a good journal and your article is a good article. It means the visibility of the article is more. Okay, in a similar way, we'll be having the Plumex metrics also. Okay, Plumex, it's a kind of the plum shaped metric. Okay, and this will be discussing about 5 important category. One is the citation, and it will based on the usage, and based on the captures, it based on the mentions in the blogs, it based on the mentions in the social media. So based on all these 5 factors, the Plumex metrics will be calculated, and this is also only for the journal, not for the So it is only for the publisher, or that is only for the journal, not for the author. Okay, and other one is the author metric. It's a H index, so that you can observe in the Google Scholar and Scopus profile and essay profile, everything everywhere you can see the H index. Okay, the H index is very important metric to assess the quality of the author. Okay, what does the H index means? Okay, for example, if we have the H index of 10, what's the meaning of H index of 10 is, so out of your publication, 10 papers are having 10 citations. That's the meaning of H index. Okay, if your H index is 100, it means that hundreds of your papers are having 100 citations in each paper. That's the meaning of H index. If your H index is more, the quality of the author is more. That's the meaning of the H index metric. Okay, so this is differs for Google Scholar, Scopus, as well as SCI. So it differs. Okay, because in Google Scholar it will cover the citations in all the articles, like even if it is in the book, or even if it is in the technical report, even if it is in the dissertation, everything will be counted for H index calculation. But Scopus and SCA is completely different. In Scopus, it will cover only Scopus indexed journals and conferences and book chapters. But in SCA, it will cover only the SCA indexed journal citations. Okay, so that's why the difference will be there. I will show you one simple difference in all the metrics. So this is the metrics. I just took it my one metric. Okay, I have taken from this first one is from the Google Scholar, and the second one from the SCI, that is Clarivate Analytics Bubloons, I have taken, and this is from the ResearchGate. Okay, and this is from the Scopus profile. Okay, you can see that H index here, the citation, first you just look at the citations in the Google Scholar, it is 959. Okay, and if you look at the citations in the SCI, that is in Bubloons, it is only 569. But if you look at it, the Scopus, it is about 804. You can see the large differences there between each of these profiles. So this is because the Google Scholar will cover everything. The Scopus profile will cover only Scopus indexed journal, and this SCI Bubloons will cover only SA indexed journal. That's why these kind of differences are available. And also H index, also you can see the difference. H index is 17 in the Google Scholar, and H index is 15 in the Bubloons, and H index is 15 in the Scopus also. This difference is also due to the different different indexing databases. Okay, and one more thing you can observe the Google Scholar, it is I10 index is there. So what is that I10 index is? I10 index is nothing but suppose you see some number I have given, see 30 is there. So this 30 is nothing but 30 of my papers are having more than 10 citations. Okay, 30 of my papers are having more than 10 citations, so that my I10 index is 30. So similar way they'll be assessing the author metric. Okay, so these are all the different author metric. Okay, and suppose if you want to check your own metric, you just go to all the profile and you take your one profile and you just check the differences in each profile. Okay, so I think with this I'll just go to the last slide of my presentation, author profiles. Okay, so as a researcher, what are the profiles you people have to maintain is, the first one is the ORCID ID. Okay, first one is the ORCID ID. The next one is the researcher ID. This will be provided by Web of Science. Okay, this ORCID ID is a separate platform. Okay, and this is a unique ID given to each and every author. Okay, and this is to maintain the safety and to check the multiple submissions. When you go for any submissions, now the authors are asking you to link the ORCID ID. Okay, in the ORCID ID, one ID will be created, and inside you can create your own profile as well. Okay, so this is very important. And similar to the ORCID ID, will be having researcher ID as well. This research ID will be given by the Bubloons, and similarly you'll be having a Scopus ID. In Scopus ID, you have taken from the Scopus author profile. Okay, you just go to scopus.com, and there you can see all your published paper in Scopus. All those papers will be listed, and you can create your own profile with the Scopus as well. Okay, and similarly you'll be having Google Scholar profile. Okay, if you don't have Google Scholar profile, you should have the institution email ID to have the Google Scholar profile. If you have a institute ID, you just create your Google Scholar profile, and you can include all your article, and based on your article authentication, it will calculate all the citations, IT index, H index, everything will calculate, and it will display you. Okay, and apart from this, you should know you should have some kind of the social research profiles as well, like ResearchGate, Academia, Microsoft Academic ID. Okay, so these three are, the social academic profiles. Okay, so it is better to have some profiles with any of these social profiles. Okay, and it is better, it is suggested, it is recommended to have your personal website as well. Okay, because once you have everything in your personal website, if you disseminate your personal website, it is the better way to disseminate all your research findings. Okay, so what I am recommending is you please try to have the personal website, so that the visibility of yourself will reach to the people like anything. Okay, so with this I just try to acknowledge the people, like some of the contents I have taken from some of the papers. Okay, so this is only for the purpose of, for better understanding to the listeners. Okay, it is only for the academic purpose, so I don't want to claim any of the ownership of any of the matters what I have taken from the some of the papers. Okay, with this acknowledgement, okay, I would like to thank you all people for patient listening, and I would like to thank the IoT Academy for providing this wonderful opportunity. If you have any doubts, okay, you can contact me. This is my contact details. Okay, I have given my email ID and mobile number, and I have given my own website as well. Okay, you can check the complete detail of myself, and if you have any doubts, you can contact me at any time. So with this, I'll just hand over the session to the ma'am. Ma'am, please.
The session is open for discussion now. You can post your queries in the chat box, or you can unmute and interact with the resource person. Thank you all. Thank you, sir. You can post your questions in the chat box also. I'll read it to sir.
If you have any questions, please ask.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. In
Yeah.
case you want to find out the journal, as you said, we have to use journal finder tool. So in net, we can just put journal finder. And do we have to put one paragraph, or do we have to put our keywords to find out the journal?
No, what are the things are required to find a suitable journalist? One is a title of the paper, exact title of the paper, and the abstract of the paper is sufficient. You don't need to post any other things. Only title and abstract is sufficient. If you want to provide keywords, you can provide, or else you can leave it. Okay, only title and abstract is sufficient to find the suitable journal.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions? If you have any questions, you can post it in the chat box as well, so I can check it.
Please post your questions in the chat box. I'll read it to sir. Or you can unmute and interact with sir.
So I have much to discuss. So some of the slides I skipped it because of the time constraint. Even I took almost 10 minutes extra time. So because of time constraint, I couldn't able to cover everything. Maybe in the later stage, I'll try to cover those things as well. Or if you have any doubts, you can contact me through my email ID so that I respond it.
Any questions? Sir is there to help you. Please post your questions.
So the one biggest advice is please, while submitting the paper, check for the predatory. So that is what a lot of people are doing mistake, and they are losing the, they are losing the paper. Not only the paper, they are losing the money as well. Okay, so please check before submitting the paper whether the journal is authenticated journal or not. So if one question I could say, if a new researcher wants to publish their journal, maybe paper in a Web of Science or Scopus, what is your views on that? Yes, see, as I told you, the structure of the paper, if you follow the structure of the paper, okay, with some fruitful content, okay, definitely you can crack even the SEA journals as well. Okay, so instead of discussing a lot of stories in it, okay, just be specific about your methodology and be specific about your results and discussion section. If you have an in-depth analysis of the results, obviously you can crack SEA or Scopus journals very easily. You don't need to pay any money. A lot of subscription based journals also available. As you said, it's a new researcher. Obviously, if you are a new researcher, there won't be any fundings for you to publish the papers. So in that case, obviously you cannot spend money on your own. So in that case, you try to focus on the subscription based journal. See, there is no difference if you go with subscription or open access. Only thing is the time duration. If you go with open access journals, the time duration will be less. If you go with subscription based journals, the time duration will be more. But in a lot of quality journals like Elsewhere, Springer, IEEE, they are providing both the access simultaneously. When you submit the paper itself, you can select whether it is open access or it's a subscription. But there won't be any impact. Suppose if you select to subscription based, whether the paper will be rejected or not. Don't think in that way. Okay, so that will not have any kind of impact during the review process. Okay, you select subscription based and submit a paper. Definitely you can crack it.
Any other questions? Sir is there to assist you. Please post your questions.
And one more thing is try to collaborate with the multiple people, like, with multiple diversity. Don't join with the known person again and again. Okay, try to join with some kind of foreign professors. Okay, the professors from other institutions, other universities, other state universities. Okay, so that your research will reach the multiple persons at multiple places, so the visibility will increase. So visibility increases means the citations will be increased like anything, because in future you will be assessed, the authors will be assessed based on the citations. Though you have a quality paper, if you don't have any citations, no, then again the impact is very less. So that's why my suggestion, try to join with the professors in other university, in other states. Okay, better to join with some foreign professors also to have a publications. So with this advice, I think there is no more questions. um,
Any more questions? So think there are no more questions.
yes
Shall we
ma'am.
wind up, sir?
Yes ma'am, yeah. So thank you all, thank you very much.
On behalf of IOT Academy, I thank Dr. M. Prem Kumar sir for the very informative and detailed session, sir. We thank you once again for the amazing presentation. Your tips and techniques will be very fruitful and beneficial for the young researchers, sir. And thank you very much. Thank you so much for your efforts, sir. I thank all the participants for joining the session today. Thank you all. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, thank you all.
Kindly fill the feedback form using the link that has been posted in the chat box. Thank you all. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes ma'am, thank you.
Please submit your feedback using the link that has been posted in the chat box. Thank you all.